I stand before you today to discuss a powerful concept that has the potential to transform our lives. The idea we'll explore is both simple and profound. Act as if no one can hurt you. Now, you might be thinking that's easier said than done. And you're absolutely right. It is a challenge, but it's a challenge worth taking on because the rewards are immeasurable. Let's begin by understanding what this phrase really means. When we say act as if no one can hurt you, we're not suggesting that you become callous or indifferent to the world around you. We're not advocating for a life devoid of emotion or connection. Instead, we're talking about cultivating a sense of inner strength and resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Think about it for a moment. How would your life change if you truly believed that no one could hurt you? How would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make? What risk would you take? The possibilities are endless. But let's be clear. This isn't about becoming invulnerable in a physical sense. We're human beings and we can certainly be hurt physically. What we're talking about is emotional and psychological resilience. It's about developing a mindset that allows you to maintain your sense of self, your values, and your peace of mind regardless of what others say or do. Now, you might be wondering, why is this important? Well, let me tell you. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with external influences. Social media, advertising, peer pressure, societal expectations, they all have the potential to shape our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. And often, these influences can be negative. They can make us doubt ourselves, fear failure, or hold back from pursuing our dreams. But when you learn to act as if no one can hurt you, you reclaim your power. You take back control of your life. You become the author of your own story rather than a character in someone else's. So how do we cultivate this mindset? How do we learn to act as if no one can hurt us? Well, it's a journey, and like any journey, it begins with a single step. Let's explore some key principles that can guide us on this path. First and foremost, we need to understand that our reactions to external events are within our control. The ancient Stoic philosophers understood this well. They taught that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This is a fundamental truth that we often forget in the heat of the moment. When someone says something hurtful, when we face rejection or criticism, our immediate reaction might be to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. But what if we could pause in that moment? What if we could take a deep breath and remember that we have a choice in how we respond? This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them, understanding where they come from, and then choosing our response consciously. It means asking ourselves, is this person's opinion really worth sacrificing my peace of mind? The second principle we need to embrace is self-acceptance. Many of us go through life seeking approval from others. We measure our worth based on external validation. But here's the truth. As long as your sense of self-worth depends on others, you'll always be vulnerable to being hurt. True strength comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, accepting yourself fully, flaws and all, and loving yourself unconditionally. When you have this kind of self-acceptance, external opinions lose their power over you. Think about it this way. If you know your own worth, if you're confident in your abilities and your character, does it really matter what someone else thinks? Their opinion doesn't change who you are. It doesn't diminish your value. When you truly internalize this, you become unshakable. The third principle is about perspective. Often, when we feel hurt by others, it's because we're taking things personally. We assume that their words or actions are a direct reflection on us. But more often than not, that's not the case. People's behavior is usually more about them than it is about you. Their criticisms, their judgments, their negativity, these often stem from their own insecurities, fears, or unresolved issues. When you understand this, it becomes easier to detach yourself emotionally from their actions. This doesn't mean you should ignore genuine feedback or constructive criticism. It means learning to distinguish between what's helpful and what's simply noise. It means developing the wisdom to know when to listen and when to let go. The fourth principle is about boundaries. Acting as if no one can hurt you doesn't mean allowing people to treat you poorly. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you have this mindset, you're more likely to establish and maintain healthy boundaries. You see, when you're not afraid of being hurt, you're not afraid to stand up for yourself. You're not afraid to say no. You're not afraid to walk away from situations or relationships that don't serve you. This is true empowerment. Setting boundaries isn't about building walls. It's about knowing your limits and communicating them clearly. It's about respecting yourself enough to teach others how to treat you. When you do this consistently, you create a protective sphere around yourself, not one of isolation, but one of respect and mutual understanding. The fifth principle is about focusing on what you can control. Too often, we waste our energy worrying about things that are beyond our influence. We fret about what others think of us, about circumstances we can't change, about past events we can't undo. But when you act as if no one can hurt you, you shift your focus to what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses. You invest your energy in personal growth, in pursuing your goals, in making a positive impact on the world around you. This shift in focus is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the burden of trying to please everyone or control every outcome. It allows you to live more authentically, more purposefully. Now let's talk about resilience. Acting as if no one can hurt you requires developing emotional resilience. This is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, to thrive in the face of adversity. Resilience isn't something we're born with. It's a skill we can develop. And like any skill, it improves with practice. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, you build your resilience. Every time you choose to respond to negativity with positivity, you strengthen your emotional muscles. One powerful way to build resilience is through mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. You develop the ability to step back from a situation and see it more objectively. Mindfulness also helps you stay grounded in the present moment. When we're hurt, we often dwell on the past or worry about the future. But true power lies in the present. It's in this moment that we have the ability to choose our thoughts, our actions, our response. Another crucial aspect of acting as if no one can hurt you is cultivating self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up over our mistakes. We dwell on our perceived shortcomings. We hold ourselves to impossibly high standards. But here's the truth. You can't be truly invulnerable to external hurt if you're constantly hurting yourself internally. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend. It means acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes, that everyone has flaws, that everyone faces struggles. It means forgiving yourself, learning from your experiences, and moving forward with grace and wisdom. When you practice self-compassion, you create a solid foundation of inner strength. You become your own ally, your own cheerleader. And when you have that kind of internal support, external negativity loses its power to hurt you. Now, let's talk about the power of choice. Every moment, every day, we have choices. We choose our thoughts, our words, our actions. We choose how to interpret events, how to respond to others, how to live our lives. When you truly internalize this idea that you always have a choice, it becomes much easier to act as if no one can hurt you, because you realize that your emotional state isn't determined by external circumstances, but by your own. If someone criticizes you, you have a choice in how you respond. You can choose to let their words affect your self-worth, or you can choose to see it as their opinion, which has no bearing on your value as a person. If you face a setback, you have a choice in how you interpret it. You can choose to see it as a failure, or you can choose to see it as a learning opportunity, a stepping stone on your path to success. This power of choice extends to every aspect of your life. You choose your attitude, your perspective, your reactions. When you fully embrace this power, you become the master of your own emotional world. Of course, making these choices isn't always easy. It requires conscious effort, especially at first. It requires breaking old habits and forming new ones. But with practice, it becomes more natural, more instinctive. Another important aspect of acting is if no one can hurt you is understanding the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is often inevitable. It's a part of the human experience, but suffering is optional. Pain is what we feel in the moment when something unpleasant happens. Suffering is what occurs when we dwell on that pain, when we replay it in our minds, when we allow it to control our thoughts and actions long after the event has passed. When you act as if no one can hurt you, you're not denying the existence of pain. You're choosing not to prolong that pain into suffering. You're choosing to process your emotions in a healthy way and then move forward. It brings us to another crucial point. So the importance of emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions as well as the emotions of others. When you have high emotional intelligence, you're better equipped to navigate complex social situations. You're able to read people more accurately, to communicate more effectively, to resolve conflicts more peacefully. Moreover, emotional intelligence helps you maintain your composure in challenging situations. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This is a key component of acting as if no one can hurt you. Now let's address a common misconception. Some people might think that acting as if no one can hurt you means becoming cold or distant. But that's not the case at all. In fact, this mindset can actually lead to deeper, more authentic connections with others. When you're not constantly worried about being hurt, you're free to be more open, more vulnerable, more genuine in your interactions. You're able to express yourself more honestly, to set clear boundaries, to engage in more meaningful conversation. Moreover, when you act as if no one can hurt you, you become a source of strength for others. Your resilience, your positivity, your self-assurance, these qualities are inspiring. They draw people to you. They create an environment where others feel safe to be themselves. This mindset also allows you to be more compassionate towards others. When you're not caught up in your own fears and insecurities, you have more capacity to empathize with others, to understand their perspectives, to offer support when they... Another important aspect of this mindset is the ability to let go. Many of us carry emotional baggage from past hurts. We hold on to grudges, we nurse old wounds, we allow past experiences to shape our present and future. But when you act as if no one can hurt you, you develop the ability to let go of this baggage. You realize that holding on to past hurts only gives them power over you. You learn to forgive, not for the sake of others, but for your own peace of mind. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning hurtful actions. It means releasing the emotional charge associated with those experiences. It means choosing not to let past events control your present happiness. This ability to let go extends beyond past hurts. It also applies to letting go of the need for approval, the fear of failure, the attachment to specific outcomes. When you can let go of these things, you become truly free. Now, let's talk about the role of self-improvement in acting as if no one can hurt you. This mindset isn't about stagnation or complacency. It's about continuous growth and development. When you're not held back by the fear of being hurt, you're more willing to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, to embrace new challenges. You see every experience, good or bad, as an opportunity for learning and growth. This attitude of continuous improvement applies to all areas of your life. Your skills, your knowledge, your character, your relationships. By constantly working on yourself, you build your confidence, you expand your capabilities, you become more resilient. Moreover, this focus on self-improvement shifts your attention away from what others think of you and towards what you think of yourself. You become your own standard of success. You measure your worth not by external validation, but by your own growth and progress. Another crucial aspect of acting as if no one can hurt you is developing a strong sense of purpose. When you have a clear sense of purpose, when you know what you stand for, what you're working towards, what impact you want to make in the world, you become less susceptible to the opinions and actions of others. Your purpose becomes your guiding light, your North Star. It gives you direction. It fuels your motivation. It provides a context for all your experiences, both positive and negative. When you're aligned with your purpose, setbacks become temporary obstacles rather than devastating blows. Criticism becomes background noise rather than a defining judgment. Your sense of self-worth is rooted in something deeper and more meaningful than fleeting external factors. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Acting as if no one can hurt you doesn't mean you'll never feel hurt. We're human beings with emotions and sensitivities. We'll still feel pain, disappointment, sadness. The difference is in how we process these emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by them, we learn to observe them, understand them, and move through them. We develop the ability to feel our emotions fully without being controlled by them. This emotional maturity is a key component of acting as if no one can hurt you. It allows you to engage with life fully, to experience all its ups and downs without losing your center. Another important point to remember is that this mindset is a practice, not a destination. It's not something you achieve once and then you're done. It's a continuous process of growth, learning, and refinement. There will be days when it's easier to embody this mindset, and days when it's more challenging. The key is to be patient with yourself, to keep practicing, to view each experience as an opportunity to strengthen your emotional muscles. As we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize the transformative power of this mindset. When you act as if no one can hurt you, you reclaim your personal power. You become the author of your own life story. This doesn't mean your life will be free from challenges or difficulties, but it does mean you'll face these challenges from a place of inner strength and confidence. You'll approach life with a sense of optimism and possibility rather than fear and limit. Moreover, this mindset ripples out into all areas of your life. It affects how you show up in your relationships, how you perform at work, how you pursue your goals, how you contribute to your community. When you act as if no one can hurt you, you give yourself permission to dream big, to take bold action, to live authentically. You free yourself from the constraints of other people's expectations and judgments. In conclusion, acting as if no one can hurt you is about cultivating inner strength, emotional resilience, and unwavering self-belief. It's about choosing your responses, setting healthy boundaries, and focusing on what you can control. It's about self-acceptance, self-compassion, and continuous self-improvement. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you and aligning with your deepest purpose. Remember, this is a journey. It takes time, practice, and patience. But with each step you take, you become stronger, more confident, more authentically you. Start acting as if no one can hurt you. Choose your thoughts consciously. Respond to challenges with grace and wisdom. Treat yourself with kindness and respect. Pursue your dreams without. You have within you an unlimited wellspring of strength and resilience. Tap into it. Trust it. Let it guide you. And as you do, watch how your life transforms. Watch how you inspire others. Watch how you become a force for positive change in the world. Because when you act as if no one can hurt you, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you. You become a beacon of strength, a source of inspiration, a catalyst for positive change. So go forth with confidence. Act as if no one can hurt you. And in doing so, discover the true power that lies within you. Thank you.